What's up guys, Captain Rasha here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you guys a new series which I think I will call a meta spotlight. You've probably seen some videos I did specifically on build spotlights, and those have been mostly on solo random dungeon clearing builds and on tanking builds. Those videos are very specific and then they focus on very specific item choices for a given build. Basically I create and showcase a build for you guys. What I aim to do with the meta spotlight on the other hand is to create and highlight of a given item, maybe a group of items, without concentrating on any kind of a specific build. So the meta spotlight will be more generalized in that sense and more open to your interpretation. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you guys think about these types of videos. So without further delay, let's jump in. I'm sure you've all heard about the nature class changes that came with the Percival patch 5, also known as the mid-season patch, on September 18th. I'll provide a link to the patch notes for the reference. So basically the Poison Thorns ability that was on the W got moved to the Q slot and is now renamed Thorns. It's an interesting ability. You imbue yourself with 5 Thorn stacks for 10 seconds. Has a cooldown of about 6 seconds, although that's about to change in the next patch. And it deals about 147 magical damage on hit. And if you do get hit, it returns only 34, so basically a quarter of the damage back to the attacker. So that's kind of the catch. So this ability is kind of similar to, I guess, the one-hand dagger, because it's auto-attack based, and it's also somewhat similar to the cursed W spell Grudge, although the damage is much lower on the Thorns than the Grudge. So I decided to give it a quick run in the open world, and I cleared some solo random dungeons as well as some city duels, and even try to play as a main tank in a dungeon. I did city duels because my nature specs are absolute crap. At the time of the recording they were at about 0, and I've managed to get one-handed nature to about 30 through my grinding. So I couldn't really get any real PvP just yet. So I cleared a pack of mobs here, just kind of like as a first test. And killed this boss here. As you can see, it's, you know, not taking any damage, and I'm able to pretty much handle everything. It's tier 5, but still, that was literally just the first thing I wanted to test. And here I run into solo random dungeon tier 6. And again, I'm not really having difficulty clearing the mobs. Again, my spec is like horrible, it's like 5. Not taking any damage. Again, I'm using kind of a weird build. I'm using a leather build. I wanted to kind of go for that cooldown and attack speed a little bit. I got a torch and an offhand just to make sure I can kill things, you know, kind of fast. Again, thinking here, one-handed dagger, grudge sort of setup, and it's working pretty good. Again, I'm able to clear everything relatively quick. Probably some better optimization will be needed eventually, but so far I like, you know, the changes that have been done to the nature. Again, big pulls, no problem. The E is kind of cool, the little damage that you get when you have Thorns up and you cast E on the one-handed nature. The AoE is good. I mean, it was the same as it was before on the Poison Thorns, but you're now actually able to deal it faster if you have fast attack speed, so that works too. Again, you can see here my specs are like super low, 5. So I proceed to clear the dungeon. Let's see if we're gonna get to the first boss eventually. Again, 3 mobs, fairly easy clears. Yes, here's the first boss. Again, it shouldn't really be a problem. All I have to do is just spam the Q and an occasional E, and I'm running with the poison on my helmet, so Mage Cowl, just to help with the DPS a little bit. Again, pretty easy clear. And that revitalize on the W helps a lot. You know, I never have any mana issues or anything like that. So I'm just gonna continue clearing the dungeon. I am running it at 2x speed, so twice the speed. If you guys want to watch the clear in like real time, you can just speed up the YouTube video and play it at half the speed. Again, I'm just doing that to kind of make sure you guys are not too bored with the run. I am planning to release a proper, I'm probably gonna do like a proper build spotlight when I figure out how exactly I want to play nature, how exactly I want to play Druid. I think it's definitely viable of you know, solo running dungeons. Any build is pretty much viable, so definitely the Druid can do it as well. And I'll be releasing something soon, just with a more specific build. See, I'm grabbing a shrine again. I'm starting out most of my rotation with like the E. It pretty much tops off my health, my HP, and roots the mobs. So again, it's a pretty cool spell that that synergizes with the Q, the thorns. So here I made it pretty much to the second floor. And I'm just gonna kind of let you guys enjoy the second floor before I get to the boss. So a few comments on this boss. It's a ranged boss. It's actually, I felt like it was easier fighting it with nature because you're always kind of out of range of all those annoying AoEs. So I mean, as a melee, it's kind of annoying to fight the boss, but it was a pretty easy cake, you know, with a piece of cake with a nature. Alright, so here I'm approaching the final boss. I'm just gonna clear the 3-pack of mobs real quick. Pretty easy clear. Again, notice that I haven't even had to use my my R spell on my Merc jacket, Bloodlust. So yeah, it's been pretty easy run so far. And the boss too. I mean, the boss is a pretty like easy fight. I'm dealing enough, you know, decent damage to be able to just, you know, wear him down, avoid AoEs, top myself off, and deal damage when I pop my E. So it synergizes pretty well. And there we have it. So here I'm just gonna clear some more packs of mobs, you know, just to kind of test it out. Again, they're tier 6, but still, like, it's, you know, I can handle the mob packs pretty fast, you know, not taking too much damage. If I am taking damage, I either top myself off with the E or I top myself off with the W. So no mana issues, no nothing. Gonna clear this pack with a mini boss. Again, that's something I used to always clear when I ran like Axes and Infernal Scythe. A lot of AoE damage, and here you can actually see how that the AoE from Q is just like melting everything pretty much. And again, melting is a funny word to use here when, you know, my spec is only 5. I mean, imagine what I'd be doing if my spec was like 100 or 400. Alright, so here I'm starting to get into some more exciting stuff, I guess, the duels. So I'm fighting this one versus dual swords. And again, my choice of gear isn't the best. You know, keep in mind this is like my first ever run with nature pretty much. I do have high specs with leather, but not with nature. So I get kind of destroyed here, and I say the swords are broken because the sword W parry, it pretty much counters me. This next one is interesting, and again, I'm running all these duels at, you know, 2x speed, double the speed, so if you want to slow down the video to watch it in real time, feel free to do that. This one's Greater Fire with Spectre Hood and Cultist Robe, so, I mean, it's a pretty expensive build. You probably wouldn't meet this in the open world, or you'd rarely meet it because, again, it's the guy's running full relics. And I don't win the fight, but I was able to hold my own for quite a bit, to be honest, and you'll see that the guy eventually has to use his Cultist Robe twice, which, you know, it's kind of funny. And maybe if I played it a little bit better I would have won, but, you know, at that point I was kind of just like testing out my build. I was able to reset. It was actually pretty close, like I think he was pretty low. He's got like 1 bar left, I think, when I die. Yeah, 1.5 bars. So yeah, it was pretty close. Next one is a Infernal Scythe with Hellion Jacket. That's like my main build. That's my main character is what I play. I love this build, and I figured I'd give it a try. And surprisingly, I was able to win. I mean, and he's running like the demon cape and stuff, so it's an interesting fight. But, you know, I am glad that you can actually, you know, win it with the nature. And again, like I said, these are probably not perfect people. This is just, you know, some city fights, you know, kind of like memeing around or trolling around in the town a little bit. But I wanted to get some footage just to get something on paper, you know. This one's versus Whispering Bow with Merc Jacket, and those things can usually, you know, put out a lot of damage. So one thing I was noticing in this duel, and this is kind of like a big drawback of nature, is that when people attack you, you queue your stacks of your thorn stacks, they disappear, and it's kind of like a big annoyance. Like, basically, it took me a long time to deal any damage to this guy because I basically couldn't deal any damage. He would just take off my Q stack so fast that, and my, you know, the reflect that the Q does is only like 30 damage, so it's very tiny. You will see, however, in my later duels, I will modify my kit a little bit, and I'll run reflect. So here we go. I changed up a little bit, and I started running a double reflect with a fire shield and the Merc Hood. And you'll see that now I'll be winning like duels left and right pretty much, because if they attack me, they take damage. If they don't attack me, my Q deals damage to them. So that's kind of the logic here. Running Hunter Hood, not Merc Hood. Yeah, it's a Hunter Hood. So now I'm fighting Bloodletter with Spectre Jacket. Again, usually in the open world, Bloodletters can be pretty nasty, especially, you know, when they're running like a Spectre Jacket. But again, I'm able to just out-sustain and finish him off. I try not to let myself fall below like 40% so he can't execute. And there we go. Pretty good fight. Next one is Dual Swords with Spectre Jacket. Again, that's, you know, a lot of damage, pretty crazy build. And again, I switched my helmet a little bit just to kind of test around. I'm running Cultist Cowl, and again, I was able to pretty much win pretty quick. This duel is a little funny. I mean, this guy's running 7.2 gear, Carving Sword, Soldier Armor, and Royal Helmet. So it's with like a crazy robe. Yeah, 8.2 Keeper robe. So He was able to, to beat me the first time, but then I duel him again once his cape is on cooldown. Yeah, keeper cape, not keeper rope. He's got keeper cape. And basically without that burst damage from his keeper, as you can see here, I'm actually going to be able to out-sustain him barely and beat him. But again, for 5 spec on one-handed nature, I think that's some pretty good results. And yes, I did switch my Hellion Jacket to run the lifesteal there. So again, another Infernal Scythe with Merc Jacket fight. Oh, that one's already over. Or it's actually just still going. Yeah, there we go. He just ran off screen. So Infernal Scythe, Merc Jacket. Again, I'm just out sustaining, dealing a lot of damage with my Q. Basically every time he's not attacking me, he's getting poked with my Q and getting that damage. If he's attacking me, I pop my Reflect and he's taking damage. So there we go, fight is over. Next one is going to be the Bear Paws and Cleric Robe and Guardian Helmet, so kind of like the nerfed version of the Graveguard Cleric that just got nerfed. And again, same story here. I mean, with melees, you pretty much just kind of pop your Reflects and just try to out-sustain them. Kite around a little bit, keep my health up. And then he pretty much suicides into my Reflects. So next one is Death Givers plus Cultist Robe and Cultist Cowl. And again, in an open world, it's kind of a bit of a scary build to fight against. But the cool thing is the E is a big AoE root that the Druid gets. So even when Death Givers are invis, I'm able to root him. So that's kind of cool. It's almost like a mini counter, so to speak. And again, he pretty much suicides into my Reflects. So again, I fight the same, I think it's the same Bear Paws guy. Bear Paws, Cleric Robe, Guardian Helmet. We just kind of decided to do another duel real quick. This time I think I'm going to let him actually hit me with his E. And you'll see he'll take a lot of damage, yep. And it's GG, Reflects. So again, this one's going to be Death Givers and Assassin Jacket. Apparently a lot of Death Giver people dueling in town. He's going to be doing his invis thing, running around, but I get the feel when he's about to pop out, so I just pop my Reflects. And he's already down to half health. Well, I'm still running full, obviously, and I haven't even healed myself that much. So in this fight, I actually switched around a little bit. I'm now running Druidic Staff, which is kind of cool. So this fight is Damnation Staff with Graveguard Plate Chest. A bit of a weird setup. But I'm running Druidic Staff, so instead of dealing more damage and root, it gives me kind of a bigger heal that can't really be purged. And I mean, it's pretty nice because it's instant cast. And it kind of comes off as a surprise. So that's a win. And then this one is kind of a weird, I don't know, I decided to take it. It's basically Weeping Repeater Crossbow, and I don't even know what chest this guy is using, but I kind of just wanted to see how I go versus a crossbow. We're not even moving, we're kind of just hashing it out. And of course I win because I got Reflects and I can heal if I want to. Alright, so here's some cool stuff. I decided to tank a little bit because you guys know me. I believe that you can actually tank with pretty much any kind of weapon, or at least one type of a weapon from a weapon line. In case of nature, that's probably going to be the one-handed staff because of that E that deals damage and roots the mobs. So I'm not going to do a full dungeon run. I'm just going to kind of do the bigger packs, sort of a little, compilation. So I just, I was able to just kill one pack right there. Again, another kind of pool of 2 or 3 multiple mobs, and you'll see I'm not really losing any aggro. And I actually asked my teammates, did you guys see, did I lose any aggro? Did you get any aggro from any mobs? And aside from some AoEs, nobody's really taking any damage. And again, here you can see a big 3-pack pool. We are running a tier 5 dungeon. I didn't really have a choice. They were running a dungeon and I kind of just crashed their party and jumped in on them. when I'm gonna do like a proper tank build spotlight, I'm definitely gonna be running a tier 8 dungeon or like a tier 6.2, just to be fair. Again, this was just the first like super quick nature overview that I wanted to capture. And I know it's kind of a long video, but I just wanted to like squeeze in as much information as possible. Maybe a retro man will watch the video and like it, I don't know. So here we go. Here's bosses, and ironically in this dungeon, like every boss encounter had 2 bosses, which was actually good because it really challenged my ability to keep aggro. Instead of like spamming just one, I was able to, you know, spam from range both bosses, and the AoE on the Q was really cool because the thorns affect both mobs. So I didn't even have to go up close. I could pretty much, you know, kind of stay at a distance, and you can see the bosses are like following me because I am keeping the aggro pretty well. You know, I haven't lost any aggro on any of these bosses yet. And you may notice I switched my W, of course. I'm running that 40%, you know, increased heals and armor boost, which, you know, it's the only spell that makes sense to run in the nature if you're tanking. And it synergizes really well with a holy healer, like a main healer for the party, because you don't really get any healing sickness, because all of the holy healers' heals are instant. And my heals on the E are instant as well. So you don't really get hit with that, you know, healing sickness debuff. So another pack of 2 bosses. Again, same deal. I run in, I pop all my skills, pop my thorns. I'm reducing their armor with my cultist sandals, so I mean it, you know, speeds up the clearing speed. Both bosses are on me, as you can see. They're all, you know, facing my way, throwing shit, casting spells my way. So I'm definitely keeping all that aggro on myself as the group, you know, just pounds away at the bosses. Alright, one's down. Again, pretty simple rotations. I mean, I'm just keeping everything on cooldown. That E is really kind of cool here because it's making the healer's job pretty easy. I'm basically, as a secondary healer, I'm topping off the entire party when they're in range of my E. It's a small heal. It's like, I think like a 200 heal or something when you're running Blade, but and my spec is super crappy, but still, you know, it makes it easier for the main healer a little bit. So I think it's pretty cool. So we're gonna do another, like a 3 mob pull here. Again, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Like nobody took any damage because all the aggro was on me, and easy peasy. Right, here's just a single boss. So again, this is gonna be super easy because I'm just gonna keep aggro the whole fight. No concerns here. You guys might have noticed this, their primary tank, who is now a secondary, is running Incubus Maze, but he doesn't have his aggro skill on, so he's kind of just chilling in the background and throwing the Incubus E from time to time. Again, easy fight here. The boss is down. Everybody is at like full health. Here's another duo boss, duo ranged caster boss. And again, I start off with my E just to sort of, you know, get the initial aggro. And I just keep, you know, kiting him around a little bit with my cultist handles up. I did not speed up these videos just to kind of show it in real time. And again, I'm able to use that E to top myself off a little bit and to top the party. And the boss is down. And then finally we're getting close to the final boss, so I'm just gonna clear this pack real quick. At this point, I think I got the hang of it, so it's pretty straightforward. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, to be honest, because I wasn't sure if we're gonna like wipe all over the place, and people thought I was crazy trying to tank on a nature druid with a one-handed staff, basically. But I think it worked out pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna be making a separate tank spotlight on the druid. Again, final boss. Our healer is just like chilling in a corner because everybody's full health. It's a pretty easy boss if you're, I guess, just kiting around. And I got my E up so I can actually heal myself too. There we go. I just topped off a bunch of people, and it's pretty easy, just a spank and tank type of fight. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. We're almost done with the boss. I hope you like this somewhat of a long video, but I wanted to kind of include a lot, you know, of my preliminary opinion on the new nature changes. I've heard some mixed reviews on the forums, and I don't really see a lot of people playing it like in the DPS mode, like everybody just plays it as a healer. But I think there's definitely potential to play as a DPS, as a solo, and even you know, as a tank. So I hope you guys like this. Let me know your opinion in the comments, and you know, like and subscribe for more future content. Thank you.